What's this? You're all here? You are. You know what you're here for, too. You're here to seal my doom! Greetings, everyone. It is I, Kikoskia, welcoming you to the stream. The pre-stream, to be exact, where you have the opportunity to get here, get comfortable, and get ready for some more King of the Castle. More scheming against me. More of me somehow managing to pull things from my derriere and win. Definitely hasn't been setting things up for stabbing purposes. You have. I have managed to get to the 4th in line on this throne. This will not last. Time machine where everyone will be totally loyal. Everyone loyal, huh? Haha. Yeah. Don't think so. Hello, Ada. Hello, PGW. Hello, Farsight. Derpy. Area High Fish forever. I mean, I think at this point, we might not have very much fish in our dynasty anymore. Hello, old dragon. Hello, Urbis. I see you're all here, ready to see me perish. How are you all doing? Hope it's all good. Salutations! Hello, Linguistic Dragon. We have 2 dragons in the stream now. Cold but good. It's not that cold here, fortunately. Well, actually it is cold, but it's not cold in this room, which is nice. It is not cold in this room. I just want what's best for the kingdom. Is what's best for the kingdom... Okay, didn't know Demon Dragon was here. There are 3 dragons. Didn't know Demon Dragon was here. You hadn't said anything. I didn't know!
Mayhem!
And there's not a rogue AI with 43 months. Thank you ever so much. That is so kind of you. Thank you. Hello, time for squash donation. That is greatly appreciated. Always appreciate the squash donation. It's a fun thing. Always appreciate it. I have come up with a very, very unorthodox method of ensuring that I can have a tank that is both a Primaris tank, there are lots of dragons there, that is a Primaris tank and is also a Horus Heresy era tank. And you won't believe what the solution was, considering the fact that the Primaris tank is a slightly longer and a slightly wider tank. Now, this is super old school. Anybody who has played tabletop wargaming like Warhammer 40,000 or Warhammer Fantasy from a long time ago will think about this and go, oh my. Also got to fly by team colours. True, but the tank isn't the right size. But you know what is the right size? You can buy a base that is the right size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tank on a base. And therefore, if you could see the base, you could shoot the tank. And if you could charge into the base, you could charge into the tank. Hello, Ziggy Zav, how you doing? Like, it may not have the right footprint, but it will, because the base will have the right footprint. And hello, Shield of Hope as well. So many people turning up. I thought to myself, tank on a base? Well, I can't make the tank bigger, so I will make a base that is the size of the tank. Like the dimensions of the tank it's meant to be. I think that's a good compromise. I think it's a great compromise. Because, yeah, the tank sounds like a castle the Conqueror built out to survive in a Roman temple. Yeah, exactly. Basically, I don't know how much you know about the fluff of my Space Marine, one of my Space Marine chapters. One of the fluff of my Space Marine chapters is that they were a 3rd founding, and they were sent out, White Scar successor, and they were sent out to the Segmentum Obscurus, and then shortly after settling there, the area that they were in got, hello, Howitzer, got surrounded and isolated by warp storms. So they've sort of mostly been in there for 10 millennia, just isolated. And then when Cadia fell, the warp storms around them weakened, and so they were able to get out. And so you have this, yeah, you have this Horus Heresy sort of era army now in the modern day world of 40k. And instead of getting Primaris reinforcements, Freezer remains finally hit, so I'm wrapped up inside, just sitting here listening to Soy Kingdom silliness. Sounds like a good idea, Mr. Dark. Welcome. But instead of getting Primaris reinforcements, because you never know, they might get trapped again, and they're scared that they'll, like, all those Primaris will be trapped with them, they instead petitioned that a successor chapter from their gene seed was created, so they could then mentor them, and they're all Primaris. And so can you tell the story when we can join? Oh, way to redeem the avatar tax, by the way. Thank you ever so much. That is so kind of you. The avatar is greatly appreciative of your kind generosity. And we'll use those sesame seeds well. I'm not sure what for. He's probably going to plot to overthrow me like everyone else is. Because you're all so nice. How many tanks? 10. And 2 scout sentinels. But, see how loyal I am? I pay my taxes like a good noble. That's just a ruse, Ada, but I do appreciate it. But, while the Avatars Resplendent are, like, helping mentor the successor chapter, they're also learning things from them as well, and, like, modifying their technology a little to adapt a little, and that's why they're going to have... They did get hit. They were already pretty neon anyway. Yeah, they're very neon, very bright pink. Incredibly neon bright pink. So... yeah... I'm not going to be buying a huge amount more, well, we're buying a huge amount more of the Avatars Resplendent. This is more like the last hurrah in a strange sort of way. But still, it's nice to be able to use models that I couldn't previously use, because they changed the rules. I could use them before, and now be able to use them again. With a bit of work, and you know. And I'll have something else cool to show for it as well. And I like painting projects. There's a limit to having any type of model collecting. More that I'm mindful of the fact that eventually this chapter will become more of a hobby collecting thing for painting, because eventually most of it will like no longer be playable in the edition that the later editions. And that's a shame, but you know, I'm planning on keeping them as like this edition viable, so that I'll always have the ability to play them now and just know. If that makes sense. Hello, Tentretto, how are you doing? I hope you are doing fine. Hope things are going good. Makes sense to me, yeah. And I just like the idea. Like, I'm inspired by ideas. Like, I don't build for power. I don't play for power in any game that I play. I play for flavor. Like, I get inspired by an idea, and I go with that idea. Power be darned. Like, my army is not powerful. Like, rest assured, it is not strong. It's not built for strength. It's built for, you know, being thematic. It's a very thematic thing. And I like that. But yes, I hope people are having a good day. I hope you will continue to have a good day while you're here with me. Absolutely, like, obliterating me by destroying my kingdom. They do. Well, they don't make a league. But people can still play old stuff. That is the thing. Like, for casual play, fair enough. And that is what I like to do. I play with a lot of Legends units. That is a lot of infantry. That's a lot of infantry. I have fossil Pokemon +1 running Pokemon Silver. Kind of broke the game. Oh yeah! Like Steel, when it initially came out, was... Can you set up we can join while waiting? I will do so shortly. Like, I don't do it now. I do it when I've got like 3 or 4 more minutes left, Howitzer. There's no point doing it now because we won't be starting for 9 minutes minimum. Right now, we're just chatting. This is the pre-stream. I start my actual stream proper at 7, but I pre-stream 20 minutes before. Gives people an opportunity to show up and get comfortable and have a chit-chat. It's an opportunity to talk to me. Not that I don't know how many people want to talk to me, but there you go. I've never heard of this. Hello, Gnosis. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope things are going good. Also for notifications to get read. Indeed, because sometimes people don't get the notification about a stream starting until a bit later. Certain games I start, like, sooner. Like, I start, I think, the Mega Man games a little sooner. But that's because it's Mega Man. There's not really much pre-stream that can go into a Mega Man game. But a game like this, yeah. A game where you're absolutely going to crush me. I saw a battle report when all infantry army was actually... oh yeah, I could imagine. Like, you have a lot of bodies to take out. Like, there is an advantage to fielding tons of infantry. Here's an interesting little thing for you. I've just built a tactical squad, and I was going to say, like, it's done, but I have a combi weapon arriving. And one of the tactical marines, not the sergeant, but just one of the marines, is going to have a Deathwatch pauldron, because he's going to have served in the Deathwatch. And so I just decided, like, one of the tactical marines can just have a pauldron from the Deathwatch. And I thought, why not? I already have one character with the pauldron, so why not give it to another? Seems like an idea. Why not? Although, admittedly, I'm not sure how often I'll be using that character, but it's nice to sometimes just have, you know, little models that are thematic and interesting. It's just nice to have thematic models. Oh boy, Regicide Simulator! Hello! How are you doing? You have joined at the right moment. You have joined at the right moment, because not that long before we'll be doing the joining part. Not that long. Hello, 10 player, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Hope things are good. All things considered, decent? Marvellous. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. We will, in 2 minutes, I think, start getting the joining going. Give people a good 4 or 5 minutes to join up, get started, and I can look at all the people about to destroy me. We need to try and do a different victory. This will probably get me horrendously destroyed, but we could try the military one. Ooh, we could try the military one. If I remember, it was a combo of Katajan, Krieg, and a smattering of Cadian. That pretty much sounds like at the moment all that they have in Guard. But the fun part about Guard as well is you can, you know, you can do anything. You could have a Guard army made entirely of Necromunda models if they have the right equipment. Try to win the inevitable civil war. It would be interesting. Unless we manage to avoid the civil war. I mean, we've had many years of a long and stable dynasty. Who knows what could happen? The answer is that maybe the patricians will finally get that victory. Can there be more factions in the castle? There can be only 3, but there are 5 factions. The only thing needed is Bosham. Indeed. Hello, Deus. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Hope things are going good for you. You're all good? Marvellous. Right, we're going to get the joining going. It is Monarch Varenica the Fourth. That is a fantastic noble. Look at how awesome we are. The eye patch just makes me think that we should absolutely be a military person. Yeah, the patricians haven't won. The counts have won once, kind of. The grandees have gotten close a few times. I mean, you look straight out of Sharp. That is true. Sharp was the one that probably took out the eye. Show it. I don't know. I've never done military before, so who knows what will happen. The Counts won with their goal was the same as the Monarch. Yep. That is true, they did. Wait, I put join fish, and it joined me as a grandee. I mean, This is a noble, powerful bloodline, straight from Kesham himself. That's true, Kesham Buck Rampage. Wait, Kesham Buck Rampage is a dingo man. Oh no. Don't tell the Inquisitor about the dingo man heritage. Yeah, the Counts did win a rebellion as well. So they've won twice. The Counts have won twice. The Grandees, however, outnumber everyone at the moment. So keep that in mind, everyone. The Grandees are the ones to beat. For the moment. Oh, wait, no. Now the... No, wait, now it's only a gap of 1. To manage to end the world in a fashion contest. This is true. It was indeed a thing. To recall how to go to the menu. Oh, no, don't worry. I remember how to get to the menu if it glitches out. I remember. You scroll down to the bottom, you then go to the left, and you press the red thing, and then it works. I remember. I can't believe I'm doing a weird plan of adding a base to a tank to make it work. It is a truly confounding suggestion. But if it works, I mean... Did you read that, Deus, on Discord, by the way, that I want to make a Horus Heresy Impulsor, and the best way for me to do it, because the Impulsor is slightly wider and slightly longer, is to put the tank on a base. Yeah, indeed they were. A lot. This is true. We'll go and... Yep, that's how to do it. Then that is a good idea. I've already bought a, missile launcher turret. I can use 2 storm bolters. All I need to do is put a heavy stubber on it somewhere, and then we're good. So, we'll go until 21 minutes, and then we'll get started. Whereupon you'll dunk me in the water like you always do. It is tradition, after all, to dunk the monarch into the moat. This is when we somehow get Monarch the 5th, and then Monarch the 6th, and then Monarch the dies. I am fully expecting this dynasty to end in cataclysmic disaster. That said, if the patricians win, they might be able to win twice by actually helping the monarch. That's the Impulsor. That's the one I'm making a non-Primaris equivalent of. Indeed, Tentretto. It is indeed. At time. The Tentretto has redeemed the Bavatar tax, thus countering the Avatar tax. But not really. The Bavatar is greatly appreciative of your generosity, and is not even hiding the fact that they're sharpening a knife to stab me in the back, because that is exactly what the Bavatar would do. The Bavatar is just like that. They're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna backstab you, and it's like, thanks, Bavatar! And the Bavatar's like, no problem! Because that's what they do. And that is what they do. Right! Let us begin the game! So, the kingdom. It took a lot of faith. The Bavatar was from Deathred, Canada. There were hover tanks in the Horus Heresy. Yeah, but we don't have access to that in the Avatar's Resplendent. Tiny coast. I like mode rhinos. Well, let's start with the coronation, shall we? Avatar sneakily reads that. Yeah, the counts went from 0 faith to 10. That is true. Your Majesty, it was an honor to serve your parent, but now it's time for you to wear the crown. As is tradition, the council will decide what happens at your coronation. Let's get this over with. Shall we call the nobles in? Alright, people. We have a lot of... Ooh, we have a lot of money. Honestly? I mean, I don't need to... You go B. Well... Force the commoners to swear a blood oath. I'm just gonna let the nobles do it, because it's absolutely gonna be C. It's tradition. We get thrown in the river every time. It has to be C. If it's not C, there's problems. There's always problems if you... Oh. Alright. Looks like we are, in fact, breaking tradition here. Oh, no, wait. We're not. Well. Didn't it end with rats? Yeah, it ended with rats. Nope. Tradition. I'm not scuppering my monarchy. I'm been thrown in the river. Wise choice, Your Majesty. Exactly! It is decided. The monarch shall be thrown in the river. It begins. And yeeted into the water. Decides to just jump in. Darn it! That's the bath for the year. Hey, people were very cleanly in the Middle Ages. They were very cleanly. Right, let's do the introduction for the council. We might as well. Now that you're monarch, it's your duty to meet with the Council of Nobles. Well, let's do the Count of the East. An honor to finally make your acquaintance, Your Grace. I was dismayed to hear of your parents' passing. Thanks, Howitzer. I know you don't mean it. Do you like my skull? Which one? The one in your head or the one in your hand? Yes. Hello, user do. It's the Patricians. A pleasure, Your August Majesty. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. And what about the South? May the ninth bless your reign, Your Majesty. I trust you will conduct yourself with honor and faith. Well, that's the introductions, and guess what? You immediately start arguing. And finally, the path to victory. Your Majesty, you have some big boots to fill, and with your parent out of the picture, the nobles will be looking for any opportunity to replace you. Then you die. How will you hope the kingdom will remember you? We haven't done military. We're gonna do Conqueror. We're also being raided by Lothar TVNI. Thank you ever so much. That is so absurdly kind of you. Thank you. Howdy indeed. I hope you are doing well. How did your stream go? What were you playing? Was it awesome and fantastic and brilliant and amazing and fantastic? And I said fantastic twice, but that's because the word is fantastic. How are you? I wonder what sort of arrow will Cav will use this time. Cav's not here right now, so... Great, won my first game as Monarch in King of the Castle. Excellent! We're actually on the 4th Monarch in this dynasty. The 4th and last Monarch in this dynasty. So, because we're going to pick military just to make the game harder. As a conqueror, a warrior monarch is sure to be remembered fondly if they win more battles than they lose. I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving the kingdom's overall military as much as possible. And remember, folks, bigger military means if you rebel, you have a better chance of overthrowing me. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. We'll be fine. We won't be fine. Because Fabio of the Game 0010 lineage, infamous Southern Elder, stands bathed in sunlight, ranting in a fury. A false pretender occupies the throne while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honour. We must not allow it to go unanswered. Hello, Lakelock. How are you gonna do it, people? There are 33 nobles, and it's pretty even. Alright, you are pretty wealthy. Howitzer is, yeah, pretty wealthy. Right, what's the plan? Subterfuge, intimidation, or fervor? Ooh. Okay. Some of these are interesting. See as a crusade. Oh dear. Oh dear. Can't remember what faction you're in? You're in the Patricians. Crusade it is! I think the first part's going to go through no matter what I do. The Grandee claimant Fabia has been chosen by the 9th god to be the next queen. She has promised a first miracle. Food for all. What is Kiko's goal? Military right now. To advance their scheme, the Grandees must raise their farming to 5 in 4 or more seasons. Or we need to lower their farming by 3 in a year, which won't happen. So, other 2 factions, you need to lower the Grandees' farming. Harona of the Gnosis Dock family, powerful coastal elder, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, muttering in frustration. Fellow patrician to the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Monarch Veronica IV. I mean, I have a cousin that's a fish folk. Something must be done. Raise treasury, lower authority. Okay. We're going with corruption. Alright. Alright. So I need to keep authority high. I could probably do that. Doing your cash has never worked well. Not usually. The patricians plan to turn the throne into a commodity that can be bought and sold at will. First, they must ensure that the rule of law is crumbling. To advance their scheme, they must lower authority to 4 or less in 3 seasons. Okay, keep authority high. So, Grandees and Counts, you need to keep authority high. Patricians, you need to lower authority. Meanwhile, Carol of the Farsight 3 dynasty, also sporting an eye patch, well-known Eastern elder, leans delicately on a podium, whispering carefully. My fellow counts, in ancient times, we ruled as our own. We could bring back those days of glory, but not while the false monarch Veronica IV wears the crown. Doppelganger? Ascension? Or possession? Ooh. Someone very boldly picks B. That's a bold one. I think C is a bit better. They start the same, but they won't end the same. Possession. The Counts plan to summon a demon to possess the monarch, putting them totally under their control. First, they must lull the monarch into a false sense of security. To win, you must lower your defiance to 4 or less in 2 seasons. Yeah. The problem is that the possession one, the final step, is a doozy. Wait, why do we have 10 faith? Because we went from 0 to 10 faith in 1 stream! Yeah, previous VOD, I won a faith victory. And everyone gained faith. We're a very faithful kingdom right now. So, here's the thing. The Counts want to keep their defiance low. Everyone else needs to raise their defiance. The Grandees want farming to be high. Everyone else wants to lower the Grandees' farming. And the Patricians want authority to be 4 or less. Everyone else wants to raise authority. Ooh. Ooh! Okay! So, Golden Choice has appeared again, but so has Monarch's Iron Choice. Ooh. Ooh, the free money option. Yeah. Also, user do remember, it's still a 4-faction game. It's a lot less fun if everyone decides to gang up and just sit on one particular faction. It's more fun if everyone else tries to get their faction to win. Therein lies chaos, and therein lies fun. Speaking of fun, Golden Choice, I could bribe you with money. You need a new vineyard. That is true, you do need a new vineyard. Ooh, immediately a Hordling attack. Oh dear. The balance of chaos and order. As tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards. The Counts with Knights of the Order of the Drowned Rose, the Patricians with champion gladiators from the arena, and the Grandees offer the fiercest battle nuns from the Sisterhood of Steel. Unfortunately, we can't recruit the Southern nuns. There's been a major scandal. Some nuns went out drinking and broke their vow of silence to sing a rude song about hedgehogs. Oh! Oh!
Mayhem! Yippee!
Oh! Hello, Observer Watcher. 39 months and a 35-month streak. Hi, Kiko. Just dropping by to renew my sub. I can't stay long. I hope you have a good stream. I hope so too. Thank you very much. That's very interesting. They won't come to the capital until this blows over. You'll need to pick someone else. Ah, is this because we had the nuns last time? No, we didn't have the nuns last time. Well... I mean, foreign mercenaries could be an idea. Can you pick our knights? Why would I pick your knights? Please. We've already picked the Grandee ones, I think. We picked the Grandees once before. You had nuns too often. Change it up. If I go with foreign mercenaries, you'll all get mad. And this gets me one step closer to the Counts not being able to do their thing. We have picked the foreign mercenaries before. A band of fearsome fighters from the Tatterlands called the Battle-Bitten Brethren. They specialize in bodyguard work, but they're costly, and hiring foreigners will betray a lack of confidence in our kingdom's fighters. Ooh. Then we have the Coastal Gladiators, a gang of low-born crooks who turn themselves into celebrities through their skill at chopping other people to bits. They're vain and selfish. Their skill in battle is undeniable, but can you trust them? Last time they just died. Then we have the Eastern Knights, who are, Order the Ground knows, are highly respectable. They understand palace etiquette, but it's been years since they fought an actual battle. They mostly write poems these days. Do you really have to pay for your safety? Yes, because the East's defenses are about as good as toilet paper. They were not useful! I await your verdict with bated breath, Your Majesty. We go with the foreign mercenary. Oh no! We can't go with the foreign mercenaries. It lowers my authority. We have to pick... We're going with the gladiators. I will make the arrangements at once. Gladiators, trust in you again. I can't go with the counts, and I can't go with the mercenaries. Oh, no. The gladiators arrive a few weeks later. The men are bare-chested and the women underdressed, eager to show off their bodies as much as their weaponry. They gather behind your throne and begin oiling themselves up. We clearly haven't learned about the use of armor. Great. Meanwhile... Your Majesty, it is my singular honor to invite you to attend the annual Night of the Seven Pyres celebration. Night of the Seven Pyres? What's that? Your Majesty, do you really not know? It's the biggest festival in the entire South. It's a celebration of the ninth god and his victory over the other 8. It is a most holy and sacred night of the year. Most people like it because fireworks are involved. Whee! Fireworks! Indeed, Your Majesty. Fireworks. I look forward to attending. We are blessed. I trust you will be willing to finance and organize one of the pyres. It is customary for the monarch to do so if they're in attendance. I'll make sure it is a night to remember. I look forward to it, Your Holiness. Meanwhile... Your Highness, I'm ruined! Hordlings have occupied my vineyard and driven my staff away. Oh dear, Dragon 2, it's happening again. Why can't your fellow grandees help out?
Mayhem!
My plight is of no interest to them. Hello, Frozen Staple. How are you doing? 5 months, that is ever so kind of you. Thank you. There goes another vineyard. I will assemble the council. Ninth bless you, Your Highness. Burn the vineyards is an option. Burn the vineyards. Ooh. Could burn the vineyards. No. Burn the vineyards. Burn them. Another of the South gets burnt vineyards. There'll be no wine in the whole kingdom. Oh no. This'll bite me in the butt later. This is you're bribing me to burn them. Why are we punching bags for the kingdom? I mean, you're not. You kinda are though. The South is out of vineyards. Fire, fire, fire. No! The vineyard's my livelihood! But a hoarding infestation is no single person's problem. If they were to spread, they could ruin homes and businesses across the South. The vineyard, and half the hillside with it, is lit up like the sun. Unfortunately, the summer weather causes the fire to spread, creating a blaze that consumes a few farms in the process. Once Grandee DL Dragon 2's wealth goes up in smoke, it's not long before she's turned to begging on the streets of Aranjar. It's all good! We just need to lower that by 1. And then just raise your defiance. Oh. Oh no. Okay, okay. Right. So. D will prevent the Grandees. But you also want to make sure that F doesn't happen. So you want D to happen, but not F. Because F will help. F will help the Grandee. The patricians. So D, not F. There you go. Of course, the patricians want F, and the grandees don't want D. Which is why 8,000 goes immediately onto F. C! Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh! Oh, we have a fight on our hands! No one's voting for D! And... hey, C's not great. Well, this is terrible. For everyone involved. Oh no indeed! Oh no indeed! Well, I get to save my money. That you do! Steams the fingers. Well, I mean, there's no guarantee that the second and third phases will be good. So, farming up! Authority down. I can deal with the authority. A tasty innovation. Agricultural oh dear. I don't mean to exaggerate, Your Highness, but I believe I have pioneered the most incredible invention in the history of mankind. I was hosting a small party, playing cards with some old friends, and I had a servant bring me something to eat that was both tasty and convenient, as my hands were occupied. What my servant brought me in the evening would change the world forever, Your Grace. It sounds like your servant invented it. Yes, and he's my employee, so I own the idea. It's only fair. Behold! He holds in the air a plate. He's plagiarizing the Deus Phoenix. How dare you plagiarize the Deus Phoenix? It allows the hungry noble to consume 2 slices of bread plus meat all at once, saving valuable time. Meanwhile, the bread is served as an impregnable barrier, preventing one's hands from becoming besmirched by meaty juices. Magnificent. Naturally, since this is my invention, I propose you name it after me. In a few years' time, I expect everyone will be enjoying a nice Zwiefernd 56699 for lunch. But naturally, this innovation cannot be made for free. Every time one is consumed, I expect a small royalty fee. Ooh. Ooh. Vote D or we rebel. With your 4 military? With your 4 military? You wouldn't win against the grandees and the patrician. They would crush you. You could do it. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. We are ready to sacrifice those men. Just do A? I'm going for D to annoy the counts. D is only right. I'm going to leave it up to everyone. You could get a one-time reward from the treasury instead. We are not going to have that one. Oh ho 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 ho! Oh! 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 Here we go! I don't think you're ready for this, Counts. I don't think you're ready for this. The people have spoken! The servant should be rewarded instead. What was his name again? Plagiarism. Blood and stars! He wouldn't have invented this snack if I hadn't specifically requested a convenient meal! Despite Count Zwiefeland's protestations, the servant is brought before you. Hello, Your Majesty. Most people call me Footlong, due to my large feet. Footlong? I like the sound of that. It is decided, henceforth this innovative dish shall be known as a footlong. Footlong proves a massive popular luncheon. Bakeries spring up across the East, experimenting with new ingredients. Turns out you can put almost anything between two pieces of bread. Don't worry, we also have agricultural concerns. Your Majesty, there's a particular forest in the south that nobody's allowed to enter because it's owned by the monarch. If we clear it, it could prove as valuable as a pasture for cattle or grain crops. Right now, it serves no purpose. Oh, so I own a whole forest? Several, as a matter of fact. You have exclusive hunting rights over them, but you never visit. I petitioned the council to transfer ownership. Nothing personal. Well, this is terrible. Yeah, no. No? If my monarchy is to fail, it's to fail in a glorious disaster. It'll be amazing. It'll be disastrous. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm not loving this at all. It's awful. Monarch's wood should remain property of the monarch. Ninth, preserve us. Why would you ever visit the stupid place, Your Holiness? You barely leave the palace. It's fine. We'll find a spouse. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What's your preference? Men, women? Do you not mind? Any's fine. Let's see what happens now. Hidden in a labyrinth beneath an eastern castle, a pair of counts meet to speak of their schemes against the monarch. The last time I petitioned Monarch Veronica IV, they gave me this dreadfully suspicious look. All the other counts are talking about it. The crown really has it in for us right now. Blood and stars, we must claw our way back into their good graces. The count's aim is to lower their defiance to 4 or less. Well... we can lower that, and we can raise this. Yeah. Yeah. The grandees receive 500 wealth from the 9th god. You suspect tax fraud. You know, actually, we don't need that money. Patricians, you can keep your money. Think about this. Remember it. Can bribe you? No. Why would I bribe you? I want to keep you at 5. I want to keep you there. I just need to raise my authority a little bit. Are we back to missing spoons? Your Majesty, I don't want to alarm you, but the spoons are going missing again. I've noticed that too. It may be a harmless prank, but I have my suspicions. Search the castle. Someone must be responsible. You search up and down the castle for any trace of the missing spoons, but find nothing. Spoons continue to go missing. You forbid the cook from preparing liquid meals, but you're seen slurping from the bowl. Well, that's unfortunate. Fortunately, we'll have some ways to improve our options here. Found 3 matches. Who have we got? Let's see. Eastern Kingdoms, according to the Count, she's a little naive, but that may just be compared to the utter ruthlessness of the Eastern Counts. Can you pick us Counts? No. She brought a controlling interest in a silver mine in the east and made a killing. Half the East are in love with her, apparently. The other half hate her. I don't see what the fuss is about, personally. From the coast, we have Zeno, a wealthy heir to Lady Patrician Thriftland's estate. I mean, just look at him. He's gorgeous. And apparently he's got a silver tongue, too. Why not? Because they'll immediately get to the next phase of their plan if I do that. It's a bad idea. Why do you hate us? Because I don't want you to get to the next phase of your plan. You won't rebel as long as stability is 7. No! Why would I let the counts get it? No! That's a terrible idea. He's also an obsessive collector of rare books. He'll splash out thousands for the right edition. And apparently he has a dark side, though I don't know much about it. I like the sound of him. And finally from the south, Andorra, the eldest daughter of the Templayer lineage. A formidable woman. The southerners say that her heart is as cold as a northern winter. Like many in the south, she claims to put her faith in the ninth god above all worldly concerns. And she's got grand plans by all accounts. She wants to change the world. Not bad. What do you think? Of course, picking a candidate will anger the others, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. I have made my decision. So, Andorra of the South. Excellent. I'll make the arrangements. Troublesome holidaymakers. Death's below! This is not to be borne! Noble patrician Ada XZB brandishes a crumpled hat. A hat! Oh, thank you. I think that's mine. This was left on the edge of my estate by a group of counts on holiday, along with a huge number of empty bottles of wine. They scatter picnic baskets everywhere, trampled my crops, and sat around a bonfire all night. My horses were terrified. Now I know. The culprit was Count Deus Phoenix and his dissolute, idle friends. We're just enjoying our prosperity and taking a break. Those clear skies, that shining sun. What a nice change from the east. You should be flattered that we're so eager to visit. Flattered? Depths below. When the counts come to our lands, all they do is cause trouble and destruction. No more holidays in the coast. The holidays continue, but the pounce will pay the patricians a generous sum. Carry on as usual. A treasure chest full of riches. Whoa! Hate to interrupt. Been rewatching your Birthright Gorgons Alliance video from 11 years ago. Thank you and keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, the guestie. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you. That is incredibly kind. This is a tricky one. I think B seems pretty nice. I think B is good. Can you veto B? No. No, I will not veto B. I will instead have the vote be for B. This way I don't lose authority. It could all go horribly wrong. This is fine. I accept that. It could. We'll see what happens. It's all part of the game. It's all fun and games. The holidays continue, but the councils pay patricians a generous sum. The lure of coin quickly overrides the patricians' principles. Counts flock to the coast for week-long banquets and scandalous parties. Merchants and cooks prosper alike. Coastal delicacies become famous. There's a booming trade in hangover cures. Yes, there's a lot of cheering, cleaning up to do afterwards, but that's a problem for later. I can deal with that. Just need to lower the thing a bit. In a dingy tavern, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Good news, my friend. The palace officials have been accepting my bribes. They're becoming more and more open to corruption. What are you getting in return? Oh, not much. A better seat in the council chamber, access to the monarch's room when they're out, that sort of thing. But the important thing is the monarch's staff are getting used to selling their principals to the highest bidder. So what next? Palace staff are one thing, but the true prize would be the loyalty of the Chancellor and the rest of the monarch's inner circle. To do that, we need to demolish the respect of the monarch. The kingdom is in chaos. They'll see the monarch as an incompetent fool, and be much more open to our bribes. You must lower stability to 4 or less in 3 seasons. So, bear in mind, the rest of everyone needs to make sure that stability ironically goes up, or else the counts will rebel and they might win. So you've got to make sure the count's defiance goes down. Which will be fascinating. Well, this one's awful. You don't get to back the counts. You don't get to join the rebellion if you're not a member of the counts unless your defiance goes up. So you be by yourself. Also, all I would need to do... You can't rebel anyway, because you need to get defiance to 8. And your defiance is about to go down. The wedding to Andona is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Andona at your side. Do you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife? I do. Then I now pronounce you married in the eyes of the kingdom. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast. And after the feast, a dance. Your new wife Andona only dances with obvious reluctance. Stability's at 8. Defiance is down to 6. I've got a 2 defiance buffer. That'll do for now. This is a problem, though. By the time you find yourself alone with Andona, it's past midnight, and you've never felt more tired. Neither of us have asked for this union, but I assure you it can blossom into something mutually beneficial. I agree. Excellent. I hope this alliance proves most fruitful indeed. You head to your separate bedchambers. Perhaps you will draw closer in time, but for now your wife is happy to keep you at arm's length. Knight of the Seven Pyres? Sure. Or Trouble in Pursuers. Your Majesty, there's a horde of hoardlings and pursuers beneath the capital. They're the ones who've been stealing our spoons. And not just the monarch's spoons either, but the whole city's. Use toxic gas, block off the sewers and leave the hoardlings down there, or send in the honor guard to root them out. We are not blocking off the sewers. No. B sounds safe and we have the money. It doesn't sound safe at all. Sending in the honor guard seems good. If you want to rebel against me, you absolutely want the honor guard to perish. But it seems like we're going to use toxic gas to fumigate the sewers. Unless the honor guard actually win. I don't know. Maybe these honor guard will be better. Pass. It's all learning. It's all new experiences. In you go. The Honor Guard march dutifully into the stench-ridden tunnels, but it doesn't go well. Hours later, only one returns, rambling wildly and clearly on death's door. The Hordlings, gone! Chased them off, your august majesty! But they ambushed us! Killed everyone! There was... He coughs up blood. Some great monster down there! They're in league! Set the beast on us like a rabid dog! At least the Hordlings are gone, your majesty. I'm sure you'll find a new honor guard in time. Behind him, the last of your former bodyguards expires with a gurgle. That'll be fine. It's not long until the night of the 7 Pyres. As you journey south, the sun beats down like a hammer. Grandee Lothar greets you with the gates with the city of Merona. Glad you could make it, your highness. Welcome to Merona. A beautiful place you have. The whole city is excited to have you here, your majesty. The citizens cannot wait to see your pyre burn. You will provide the surrounding entertainment and arrange the event's spectacular climax. But first, which of the disposed gods' effigies do you want to be responsible for burning? The 7th god, the Lord of Darkness. An excellent decision, your majesty. Traditionally, the 7th god's effigy is over 50 feet high and burned in the central square, usually attracting the biggest crowd. Now, what kind of entertainers will you be hiring to support your pyre and impress spectators? Fire dancers. A wonderful choice, your majesty. The fire dancers of the south are famed throughout the kingdom. You'll need more than that to draw a crowd, however. What else? Lion tamers. A spot of danger should keep the peasants interested. Anyone else? And acrobats. Trapezing above the roaring flames, enough to make even the stone hearts sing. With all those entertainers, your pyre will be quite the spectacle. I think the budget can stretch to include fire breathers as well. I do not know how they do without burning their lips, your highness. Must be a technique to it, but methinks your pyre might be a little crowded. That's all. Your work is not yet done, your majesty. You must decide on the pyre's spectacular climax. Sometimes we go with fireworks, but those are expensive. The powder must be sourced all the way from Kurth. A less exciting alternative is to topple the effigy over like a falling tree. Normal amount of fireworks should be enough. Wonderful, your majesty. Your pyre will culminate in a fireworks display, bringing the night sky alive. I will make the arrangements at once. I can't wait. Soon the night of the 7 Pyres is upon you. The streets of Merona are crammed with merrymakers. As the royal stagecoach makes its way into the town square, the citizens greet you with cheers and tossed roses. The effigy of the 7th god towers over the rooftops, a 50-foot demon with fearsome horns. As it bursts into flames, out come your fire dancers, acrobats, fire breathers, and lion tamers. What do the crowd think? The crowd is loving it, but your entertainers are about far too closely together. Before your horrified eyes, a fire breather sets one of the lion tails alight. Roaring in pain, the flaming lion leaps over the barrier into the crowd, ripping and tearing at the terrified common folk. Blood soaks the streets, shrieking peasants stampede in all directions. And amidst the scenes of obvious violence, completely ignored your effort exposed into fireworks. Restore order. Your efforts are useless. Your voice can scarcely be heard over all the screaming. In the end, only 3 people were killed by the lion, but dozens were crushed in the ensuing stampede. You slink off back to the capital, shamefaced, as the grandees bitterly call you for you to apologize for ruining their holy night. We'll deal with it. That was a bad thing, but hey, good entertainment for you lot. Meanwhile, the grandees. The prophesied 9th herald has finally manifested on Celeste Ath, taking the form of a humble noble known as Fabia, who hails from a farming town in the southern hills. Also the grandees claim. Haha, peasants all over the south are flocking to you, Fabia. I knew you could do it. Praise be to the 9th. Praise be, but this is just the beginning. With him on our side, we will capture the minds of the common folk and lead a holy crusade against the false monarch. The people still need a push, however. With the right amount of chaos, the peasants will take up arms and die for you. For the next stage, you must lower stability to 4 or less in 2 seasons. 2 people require stability reductions. Oh dear. That's gonna be interesting. Okay. Right. Your new honor guard. The death of your honor guard in the line of duty was a tragedy, Your Majesty, but we don't have time to mourn. We must replace them at once. The monarch needs protection. Each region offers a selection. The counts of the knight, the drowned rose, the patricians with their gladiators, and the grandees offer the fiercest battle nuns from the Sisterhood of Steel. Of course, since your previous honor guard were coastal gladiators who died screaming for their mothers, there's nobody left in the coast who's qualified. Well, I know who I'm going to pick. I know I'm going to pick. It's time for the Eastern Knights. Very good, Your Majesty. I will make the arrangements at once. The knights arrive a few weeks later. They are all extremely pale and extremely polite. The commander introduces herself with a florid bow before reading out a poem she's written for the occasion. The good word, eh? Greetings, Veronica. I've had an idea. As you know, the people of the South are quite pious. As a member of the royal household and an avid adherent to the church myself, I thought I might go back to my homeland for a time and take the opportunity to preach in your favor. You mean make me some kind of saint? Not exactly, I mean, unless they really start to like you. But support from the church can't be a bad thing, can it? Go forth and teach them to love me. Praise be. I'll make the preparations immediately. Word spreads fast that the Queen Consort is planning a tour of the South. Thousands flock to the towns and villages where she plans to stop. Once she arrives, Andona gives a series of impassioned speeches to the locals, preaching at length about your good standing with the church. It strikes a chord. The spymaster happily announces that your popularity is rising across all the region. Ah, that's good. Meanwhile, blood money. What are you talking about? Nothing is wrong. Absolutely nothing is wrong in the East. Really? Because you look... This calls for celebrating a glass of wine, I think. There's definitely not an old witch who lives on the border of my lands, and I definitely haven't been having money troubles. And most importantly, she didn't offer me a fortune in exchange for just a drop of my blood, an offer which I absolutely didn't accept. You keep looking at me like I've trodden your foot. Ever since I didn't accept the witch's bargain, I haven't found myself obeying her every command. I definitely still rule over my own estate, not her. Furthermore, she didn't forbid me from telling you about any of this. I'm not using negative statements to bypass her magic. Hang on. I'm starting to think you mean the opposite of what you say. No, Your Grace. That's not the case. Let me fetch the court physician and see if we can lift your curse. After a week confined to a cold iron box, with nothing to eat but salt, the magic stops affecting Count Mystery One so strongly. He's even able to talk about his ordeal directly. I always tolerated that bloody witch. She'd sell medicine to the peasants and help them find lost sheep. I never suspected she was capable of something like this. We need to call a vote. Send a regiment to take back our stolen lands. Ooh. Ooh. Sounds like a you problem, Count. C to defeat the Counts? But that won't defeat the Counts. Why would I gold C? I mean, golding C, I suppose that... Oh, no, wait. Golding C might actually not be that... Golding C is actually not that bad of a choice. If I gold C... Yeah, I don't think Call for Unity's gonna work. Yes, but we only have 4 military here. Is the problem. We haven't had any opportunities to raise military. It is not enough. I'm not taking a coin flip. Would you take a coin flip? You would? Well, you're not me. By the way, folks, it doesn't matter if I win or lose this. All that matters is that we tell a fun story. So, just keep that in mind. Remember, it's all about fun. Let them suffer. You mean I have to live with that old peasant woman lording it over me? No! I'm taking my lands back! Nope, let him go. When the eastern troops arrive on Count Misty One's estate, the land itself fights them. The soil swallows them whole. Trees snatch them up and tear them apart. By the time they fight their way through the manor, the witch has already escaped, along with what remains of Misty One's gold. With no peasant, the peasants have no memory of their time under the witch's rule, but the churches have been burnt, the profane messages scrawled on their charred walls, and the fields have been sown with salt. Well, at the very least, you have an even weaker military now. Well, I don't really have a say in any of this. That went well. It didn't go well at all, but it was fun. 2 people want F to happen, but of course you could also just vote for A and cancel that completely. There's also another way to win, that I'm not telling anyone. Like, any vote of A would just cancel F. Cancel F. Don't you need a high military? Yeah, I do, but I haven't really had any events that raise military yet. At all. I've had no events that raise military. That's fine. You can always raise authority. A new trend about your heir. Ooh. About your heir. Your marriage to Adona has grown strong and steady, like an old castle wall. Though it began as a political arrangement, it's blossomed into something like love. It's high time you thought about an heir. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. But something's still missing. You need an heir. You need someone who's young, whose loyalty is assured, a child of your own, even if they're legitimate, or one of your many cousins. Problem is, if you do that, Ghidorah, only one faction then wins, because you still have to vote on the successor. So, I lose, but only one of you wins. And then immediately, it gets very interesting afterwards. Don't forget that at that point, one of the other the faction that wins, can then win by supporting the next monarch. We'll have a child. Ah, the traditional method. No one will object to that. A mysterious ship. Your Highness, a shipwreck has appeared on the edge of my estate. And it's not even from the east. Its name is the Petronella, and it bears a coastal flag. That vessel went missing a few months back. We feared she was lost at sea. Well, she's been found on land, right on top of my favourite picnic spot. My peasants discovered only one survivor on board, a coastal sailor. He claims to remember nothing of what happened. Ugh, my head's killing me. Has been ever since I woke up. Did you teleport this ship? I swear I didn't do anything. Last I remember we were sailing along coastal waters. Then nothing. This poor soul needs looking after. We must care for him in one of our monasteries. No, we must interrogate him further. I must know why this ship is on my land. Huh. You don't go for D, because I prevent it. I think we should solve the mystery, personally. It seems interesting. And losing to money is another way to interestingly figure it out. I'm intrigued. I want to know what happens. I'm willing to spend money to find out what happens. Why? Because it's fun. Solve mystery is good. You still need to get to 9. Voting has closed. Who's done it? You don't have the military to rebel. No one does. A scholar from Quail University quickly arrives. She checks the sailor's throat, pokes and prods his head with calipers, and makes him inhale a foul-smelling vapor. This is the most serious case of memory loss I've seen in a long time. Technically, this man should be a gibbering mess on the floor. Hey, I'm right here! Your Majesty, I need more time to handle this. Okay. A new trend, though. Oh, it's back! They want to sell me a crab! Of course she does. It's the latest trend along the coast, Your Majesty. The patricians have started keeping a species of jeweled crab as a fashionable pet. The creatures are so rare that one can now sell them for as much as a mansion. Well, send them in. Thank you for seeing me, Your Majesty. I know the price is steep, but I assure you, these crabs will only go up in value. No. Crabs, honestly. What is this kingdom coming to? I'm not trading in crabs! I will not buy the crabs! Meanwhile, deep in the south, the grandees pace along a balcony. It's just not enough! The peasants love Fabia and believe the miracles, but they won't rise up to put her on the throne! They'll come around. The monarch's golden age can't last forever, can it? The grandees aim to lower stability to 4 or less. But that's not all! Sitting on a bench outside a sun-bleached villa, 2 patricians on the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Birds are singing, the market is in full swing. Do you hear it on the wind? You can make up a laughter of children playing a game. Ah yes, delightful. Wrong! It's horrible! The kingdom is totally serene, and our plans are in ruins! The monarch's advisors are happy with their rule. We can't buy their loyalty yet. Believe me, I've tried. The patricians aim to lower stability to 4 or less. I mean, we can do that. We can do that. Leave it at 5. Ooh, there's a lot of things going on here. Your Majesty, the acclaimed playwright Percival Blinwood has written another smash hit. All the theatres in the capital are showing it nightly. What's the problem? The problem is that the new play features a character obviously based on you. I don't like... How am I portrayed? The character is portrayed as a professional clown named Biffo. At one point, a bucket of custard is upended over their head as they sit on the throne. Your Highness, peasants and nobles alike are watching this play. The theatres are packed. You must put a stop to it. You cannot simply be known as Monarch Biffo. I think I'll attend the play myself. A shocked silence falls in the theatre as heralds announce your arrival. You wave from the royal box as the actors stare at you, clearly horrified. Well, what are you waiting for? The play begins. Soon enough, the clown monarch arrives on stage, comically tripping over their own robes. They somehow found an actor who looks just like you. Endless humiliations are heaped on this honking, squeaking parody. Finally, the play concludes with a custard-drenched monarch handing their crown to the deserving hero. All eyes turn to you. How do you react? Climb onto the stage. The actors shrink away from you. The audience are deadly silent. Everyone's terrified of what you'll do next. Congratulate the actors on a hilarious play. The audience breaks into relieved cheers. The actors bow before you, weeping from gratitude. After that, the whole capital can talk about nothing but your good humor and mercy. In those situations, the best thing to do is to just go along with it. And even if it had failed, it would have been fantastic. Not mercy! Lord Patrician Mad Steve rushes into the council chamber, breathless and in disarray. By the blood of the dead! You look like you haven't slept in weeks! That's because I've been placed under a curse! Look, my hair's falling out in chunks! By the ninth god, get away from me! It was one of my workers. I saw it in her eyes. She's an evil witch! I mean, all these options are pretty good. Maybe she'll float? I like 90% odds. That's pretty good. However, let's make this interesting. I don't get many opportunities to use that. I just want to see where the options go. It forces everyone to scatter their votes. Send scholars to the coast to find an explanation. Because any of those options were good. Sure enough, the scholars from Creole University discover a contaminated well on Mad Steve's estate. Not enough to kill, but enough to make his hair fall out and set his nerves on edge. The water is cleansed, the accursed peasant returns to her work, and the scholars have a new poison to investigate. Meanwhile, Your Majesty, there have been strange rumours regarding the Grand Theatre recently built in the coastal city of Simasus. People are saying that an unscheduled play is performed there at midnight, and that anyone who watches it will die 6 days later. Several deaths have already occurred. Sorry, did you say 6 days? By sea and storm, your Serene Highness. I went and saw that midnight play out of idle curiosity. That was 5 days ago. What happened in the play? There was only 3 actors, members of a daytime cast. They seemed to have been some kind of trance, like they were sleepwalking. The story was a bit unclear. 2 of them were allies in a war. They captured a 3rd in battle, and then devoured him in some kind of morbid banquet. After that, I got so scared I left the theatre. Maybe that means I'll live? Why would you attend this creepy play? I'm a noble. I've got nothing to do all day. All I have is time and money. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. It very much is something to worry about. Save me for ninth's sake. No. Absolutely not. I actually don't mind losing a bit of authority. We have 10. Because I'll die, linguistic. This is fine. A would have been amusing. Yeah. The council dismissed his scurrilous claims and vote to move on to the next order of business. Fortunately, Lady Patricia Lakelock was right to be worried. She dies the next day, convulsing and frothing at the mouth. The patricians blame you for the loss. Worse still, the Midnight Play continues its showings night after night, and the death toll mounts. Eventually, the theatre district of Simus becomes a ghost town as common folk flee the theatre's strange aura. Shops and churches stand empty, monuments to an unsolved mystery. That's fine. Nope, I think I'm fine with what I've got. Ooh, something a bit everywhere. Oh no, the crab bubble! Bad news, Your Majesty. A new reef has been discovered which is overflowing with millions of jeweled crabs. Crab prices are crashing catastrophically. What? The entire kingdom will suffer financially, Your Majesty, with the exception of a few patricians. Curiously, Lady Patrician Fledgling Phoenix, the very same patrician who first began the craze, recently sold all her crabs at a huge profit, just days before the crash. Something must be done. You summon your council to discuss the crab price crisis. Many assembled nobles have invested heavily in the crab market, and they are casting furious glances at the patricians' benches. Ooh, we cannot bail them out. Too low. You go see, do you? Alright. You should all vote for C. This seems like a great idea. Alternatively, you have to split. Ah, goes to C. Oh, no, wait. There we are, it's fine. The plot continues. Arrest Lady Patrician Fledgling Phoenix and confiscate her ill-gotten gains. Your soldiers storm Lady Patrician's palace, arresting her and confiscating her ill-gotten crab gold. The trial will be held as soon as possible. Outraged patricians protest that your actions are illegal and make a mockery of the law. Don't they know you're the monarch? Meanwhile, Your Majesty, I'm pleased to say that the research on that amnesiac sailor has borne fruit. The fellow you turned up in the Eastern Estate? He remembered his adventure. It only took a bit of lead tincture, some fasting, a little bloodletting to clear his head. The Petronella came into contact with a wizard. No wonder the sailor didn't remember anything. He was addled by the wizard's powers. The ship will have magical residue clinging to it too. A most exciting phenomenon. But wait, you're saying this wreck is dangerous? Oh, immensely! Then it must be destroyed! No, it's vital we investigate this phenomenon. We might never see its like again. Come on, people want to investigate the ship. You want to investigate the ship, right? People demand answers, also chaos. Come on, do you want some money? Do you want money? Investigate the ship! For money! So much money! Everyone's just like, money! No one hasn't voted for it. That's astounding. Everyone's like, yes, money. You had me at for science. Glorious. That is the first time everyone has voted for the same option. As soon as the university hears about this mysterious find, scholars scramble to join Valeria's team. Quail University pays Count Ghidorah a stipend for Valeria and her students to stay on his estate while they study. You await the results. However, Your Highness, a troubling development at the prison of Cerevo Keep. Oh, do go on. Alas, prisoners of the Keep have staged a mutiny. We have no idea what went wrong, but they've killed all the guards and taken Cerevo for themselves. We've come to your holiness because the prisoners are now making demands of you. If you do not respond, they will kill their hostages, including Cerevo Keep's owner, Grandee Andy the Grunt too. Oh no, not Andy the Grunt again. What are their demands? Firstly, they want their crimes forgiven, which is pretty standard for as far as things go. But they've also been asking for a significant gold payment and free passage to Ashmead. I'll hold a vote and see what we can do. Ooh. Oh. I don't think we're gonna... A is dangerous because it gets us really close to being broke. C is a terrible idea. We don't go with C. That's the one thing we don't go for. C is the lowest percentage. It's the lowest percentage. But there is a 40% there. We'll see what happens. I leave it in your capable hands, voters. And B, we're going for the 40%. This is going to go so badly wrong. So badly wrong. Yeah, I did. But they weren't that expensive. Like, it wouldn't have made a huge difference. Is maybe a mistake? Probably. Let's see how bad it goes. Though you negotiate the mutineers, they do not budge. Tensions rise until an argument breaks out that results in Grandee Andy the Grunt's death. The stalemate continues till the prisoners run out of food and hostages, at which point they surrender to save their own hides. Andy the Grunt's death is blamed on you, and the consensus amongst the Grandees is that they should never have gone to the council in the first place. Ah! It's fine. Your heir? Ooh. Ooh, something all the way up there. Meanwhile, your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to... The council is filled with nervous silence. My daughter. The assembled nobles break into a polite applause. By designating an heir, you've cemented the stability of your kingdom. Your Grace, may I be the first to congratulate you on the birth of your daughter. What is her name? Veronica the Fifth. How exquisite, Your Majesty. I'm sure little Veronica the Fifth will grow up to be a chip of the old block. Congratulations on finding an heir. Now I just need to struggle horrendously because, oh dear, this. However, scholar. Valeria and her band of scholars have returned from the wreck of the Petronella, Your Grace. I can't make head nor tails of their nonsense. What happened? There's a labyrinth within my ship. A labyrinth that goes deep into the earth. Or into the sky. It was very confusing. Some of my researchers were lost, but no matter. We're going back to find the center. Ooh! Come on. We want to see what's in this. Come on! We want to see what's in it. This is going to be amazing. I want to see what's in this. What's in the box? What's in the box? This gives us a coin flip. It's the best we've got. This Sapbrook's like, no. I think we should send soldiers. I commend you for sticking to your guns. Ah, yes, there'll also be dinosaurs as well, 10-player. Let's go. Count Ghidorah acquires better quality compasses and map-making materials for Valerica's investigations. They return to the wreck once more, full of zeal. This is actually inadvertently bad for us, but it's still funny. Count Ghidorah and the other counts tell anyone who will listen that their scholars will return in one piece. All we need to do now is raise your defiance. Lord Patrician Darkover 81 strides into the council chamber distraught, waving a dead rat by its tail. The fields and barns of the coast are overrun with vermin, and we've no more poison for these horrible things. We can't cope anymore. Ooh. Ooh. Alright. I mean, all these options are good for me. Cats are always the answer. They are, I agree. Come on, you want to send them cats, don't you? Cats! Send cats! Meow! And thus the cats were sent. And it was glorious. It's alright, cats. Lord Patrician Darkover bows to you deeply. I can't thank you enough, your serene highness. You send a caravan of cats over to the coast. By the time they reach their destination, they're both hungry and very angry. The perfect rat-catching mindset. Soon the rats are gone, and most of the households in the coast have a very satisfied cat guarding their food. You hope kittens don't become a problem. Nah, they're never a problem. It's fine! Now, we go to this. Uneasy whispers in the east of secret gatherings and treachery. On the battlefields of a remote castle, two counts meet. The Chancellor sent me a fruit basket last week to thank us for our efforts in helping the crown. It's working. Our reputation is secure. Our problem now is the Archbishop. His beady little eyes will be focused on us if we're not careful. You must evade him at all costs. Hello, Gaby Zillas, how you doing? For the next stage, you must lower your faith to 4 or less in 4 seasons. Well, there are options here. I mean, there's also D. If you want to help me out and make sure that the Grandees and Patricians don't win counts, you can vote for D. Also, the other factions don't want B to win anyway, so, you know, helping me out a little bit will mean that I'm more likely to vote for the things you care about. Or you could just do that. I mean, you've still got to lower faith by 4. It's okay. Yeah. It's fascinating, all the money that gets thrown around. Lies, Kiko cares not about what we want, and will not help us. Hello, Alias. I help people. Look, the kingdom's not doing badly. The military thing's a problem. It's alright. We can raise stability. Ah. At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be a conqueror. But so far, you've not convinced anyone. The kingdom's army is mediocre at best. You won't be doing the conquering anytime soon. Your current ambition isn't working for you. If you want to stop the nobles from overthrowing you, you need to pivot. Change your image. My advice would be to infiltrate each region with loyal spies. Defeat their schemes with schemes of your own. But your advisors have other ideas. Your Majesty, if you help us spread the zeal of the ninth god, our church will lend our full support. With the backing of the church, the nobles wouldn't dare move against you. The common folk are sleeping giants that even the nobles are afraid to wake. If you become beloved by the peasants, the nobles wouldn't dare overthrow you for fear of revolution. Don't listen to the rest of the fools. Have you heard of the Scepter of Sages? It's a lost artifact, forged by Queen Alma the Wise. There's a legend that any monarch who recovers will rule over a golden age. Stability and trade. Authority and faith. Ugh. Stability and farming. Faith and trade. I have, but I've also done the common folk as well. I can't do stability and... I could do stability and... I've done all of these, actually. I've done all of these. I would pick the one that's most likely to succeed. But faith is a bad thing. But faith and trade? No. Scepter seems great. A wise decision, Your Majesty. I'll begin searching out adventurers to track down the Scepter's location. But adventurers aren't cheap. Your priority is to raise the overall faith and trade as much as you can. Of course, you can't also be an open rebellion among the nobles. Something found. Valeria and her scholars have returned from the shipwreck, Your Highness. Are they alright? We unearthed the ship's log. The Petronella came into contact with a wizard living on an iceberg. And by came into contact, I mean crashed into. This wizard was fatally injured in the collision. Perhaps in an attempt to get help, or perhaps in a final act of revenge, he boarded the ship and teleported it all the way to the east. So what now? The dead wizard is likely still aboard the ship. We could mount an expedition to retrieve the body. Or better yet, destroy this stupid wreck and give me my land back! Come on! Hire adventurers to retrieve the wizard's body! Come on! We want wizard body! We want a wizard! And we want his body! We want this! It's gonna be amazing! We get the wizard! You've come this far! I want to see how this ends! I do! It's gonna be awesome! What could possibly go wrong? Nothing! We die horribly. What did we get? Human baby. Not my fault, we're only like a quarter fish folk at this point. The Adventuring Guild is always hungry for cash. They put together a ragtag band of the best adventurers headed by a hard-bitten warrior named Chania. Don't worry, Your Majesty. We'll return with the wizard's body lickety-split. Alright, the crab trial! After months of delay, Lady Patrician Fledgling Phoenix is finally due to stand trial for her crab-related market manipulation. You stand accused of perpetrating fraud and tricking hundreds into buying expensive crabs. How do you plead? I'm guilty only of making money, so I broke a few laws along the way. Is that a crime? Yes, obviously. I pronounce you guilty as charged, and your fate will be decided by the monarch. Imprison the guilty party. I'm not hanging them, that reduces stability. No! Lady Patrician Fledgling Phoenix is dragged away in chains, wailing for clemency. Most of the marching nobles agree that justice has been done. Except for the patricians, of course. Please, your majesty, Fledgling Phoenix has young children. Who is supposed to pay for the upkeep of her villa? Maybe they can pay with the crabs! Boop. Boop. Alright. Let's see what we can do. Your Majesty, I have discovered exciting news. Our hired adventurers have discovered an ancient manuscript hidden beneath the mountains. It speaks of the Scepter of Sages, and it was written by Queen Alma herself. Worried about what would happen to the kingdom after she died, she hid the Scepter of Sages so her enemy couldn't find it. If Queen Alma is right, I give her a piece of my mind. It's in a warren of caves within the Black-Wheeled Forest, Your Majesty, near to the capital. It's been under our noses this whole time. I've taken the liberty of sending out more adventurers. They'll clear the area and get inside. Hopefully it's not too dangerous. It is their job, I'm sure they'll be fine. As soon as the adventurers return, the treasurer comes in to tell you the news. It's a coin flip. It's proving difficult, Your Majesty. It's practically a maze down there, and the adventurers decided this wasn't lucrative enough. They've left the kingdom for Akatesh. Alright, we'll try again. I'll see what I can do. There are plenty of others we can hire for the job. To improve your chances, focus on increasing faith in trade. The chance will decrease with each failed attempt. Let's go with a nice soak. Blood and stars, what in the ninth's name is that smell? A bit of lavender oil, a little rose? Well, it's vile. Stay away from me if you please. Won't do much good. Everyone in the south is bathing these days, all thanks to our aqueduct's pristine waters. Why, I've been bathing nearly once a fortnight. That sounds wonderful. It certainly is. In fact, the council should establish public bathhouses in all cities across the kingdom. Dracov's bones, really? Doesn't warm water pucker the skin? I'm not even going to let you do that one. I mean, I'll go for 40%. It'll be fun. This is why we have the tradition of dunking the monarch. Exactly. Yeah. It'll be fine. Or it won't be. Let's find out. 40%. Might work, might not. Have the monarchs bathe in public to show the benefits. In the front of the palace, your servants scurry up to set a huge golden tub. You're just about to disrobe when a gust of wind catches your dressing gown and blows it away. As you stand before them completely nude, the nobles start whispering and giggling behind them. Behold the might and beauty of my royal person! Yes, very impressive, Your Majesty. Do you think it would be wise to get in now? As you get in, you stumble and splash everyone around you. Laughter turns to cold grumbles. In the end, the whole thing is more of an opportunity for ridicule than anything. The new bathing trend quickly fades away. Bah, it's okay. However, Count Ghidorah has his servants bring in a stretcher to the council hall. Chania and her adventurers returned from the wreckage of the Petronella, Your Majesty. What happened? They reached the hull of the shipwreck and found this. The other nobles recoiled in horror. It's a corpse that almost looks human, encrusted all over with ice crystals embedded into its flesh. Despite the heat of the lamps, the crystals remain solid and glittering. We think this was once a wizard. Perhaps the source of the wreck's teleportation and associated memory problems. We must handle this carefully, Your Majesty. We don't know what to do with the remains. Could a wizard's body be destroyed at all? Huh! Ooh. 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 This is interesting. To the museum. Why not? Why not? Put it on display! You have the body placed in a museum in the largest city in the east. Visitors flock to pore over the preserved corpse, bringing in a great deal of money to the region. But the staff report ghostly laughter and the feeling of cold to their bones, even in the middle of summer. There's a steady turnover, and those who remain carry protective charms during their shifts. Anonymous voting is fun, but I'll leave things as they are. An opportunity, Your Highness. A Kurth ship sunk last week, just off our coast. I request permission to salvage the wreckage. Kurth vessels are always full of valuable things. Wait. It might be off your coast, but it's in our waters by the 9th. In fact, it's closer to our city of Hithos than any of yours. But you ceded those waters years ago in exchange for a chest of silver. You were having money problems. Your Majesty, esteemed council, don't let this liar fool you! Money, please. Money, please! Alright. Should have put that on A, but I know you weren't going to vote for A. I'd like to see this rebellion go with 2 military. And you're rebelling with 3 military. What? But it's in our waters! Move over. Council's word is final, isn't it? The operation goes ahead, and yields a great bounty for the patricians. Spies from Atash, Salish Pearls, had a strange music box that sends everyone to sleep. Irritating visitors. Your Holiness, I simply can't stand it any longer. I need you to do something. Whatever's the matter? I have filthy peasants scrabbling all over my newly built theatre, imitating the actors and interrupting plays left, right and centre. They've heard legends of buried treasure beneath the site. Total nonsense, of course. I need you to keep these greedy treasure grubbers off my land. Actually, these rumours might not be nonsense. After conquering the south, King Harold the Great is said to have buried a huge stash of gold, stolen loot, spoils of war in the area. What are you suggesting? We could search for the treasure ourselves, send a team of diggers to take the place apart brick by brick and dig beneath into the foundations. By the 9th, what are you saying? That would destroy the whole place! Hmm. Or I could do a call for unity and make you all just struggle. I mean, remember, there's a 30% chance that C works. It might not work, but it could. Eh. Why not? Go for the fun. You bury a fake hoard of tin coins, painted to resemble gold, if you squint from great distance. Then you dig it up and declare the king's has been discovered, and the peasants shouldn't keep searching for it. Your silly scheme hasn't worked. Nobody believes that you actually found the hoard. I've still got treasure hunters on my land. Allow me to plan the next intrigue, Your Majesty. I agree. Oh, we have the monk still. Your Majesty, a young Eastern monk named Gilgilfith seeks an audience. He's writing a book and has a small request. I can vouch for the seriousness. Show him in. Thank you for seeing me, Your Majesty. I'm writing a history of your reign, but research is costly. I was wondering if you might donate a little to support my efforts? Of course, my good monk. Future generations will thank you, Your Majesty. It was good of you to see him, Your Majesty. Is that all? Yes, Your Majesty. Gilderfrith is a very deliberate historian. I doubt his book will be ready for decades. Yeah, cool. Alright. One can, potentially. Let's go over this again. We sent more adventurers in search of the forest. They've just returned from the expedition. Most delightful news, Your Majesty. The adventurers have found a golden door beneath the forest which matches the description of Queen Alma's manuscript. Wonderful! The scepter should be hidden within. But the scepter of sages can be found only by a monarch who is strong of purpose and true of heart. How do you prove it? Queen Alma wrote a ritual for the monarch to prove themselves worthy of the scepter. If we go into the cave, I can read out the relevant passages while you set it all up. You make the arrangements, bringing a procession of horses, food, drinks, adventurer guides, and a little travelling desk with the treasure to the Black World Forest. This is not picking noble. Your wife comes too, riding beside you. We're close, I can feel it. This scepter is my chance to rule this land once and for all. Our chance, I mean, of course. The adventurers lead you inside the cave. It might not work. Holding flaming torches to light your way. Soon the tunnel grows horribly cramped, and you bend double to squeeze through. By the 9th, this had better not be a trap. You walk for what feels like hours. Just as you might have lost hope, you reach a golden door, exactly as the adventurers described. It will open only for the faithful. Close your eyes, Your Majesty. Concentrate. Your focus scatters as you open the door. 1 in 10. It happens. Don't worry, Your Majesty. Maybe if we go back to the palace and pray for guidance. It's fine. Yeah, roll the 1. It happens. Right. During a meeting with the council nobles, a commotion erupts as Lord Patrician Old Dragon lets out a piercing scream. By the 9th! By the 9th! It's here! It's here! He faints away, falling to the ground with a crash. What's he blabbering about? Sounds like he's been drinking. By the sea and storm, I've been doing no such thing. I thought I'd be safe from it here, but regrettably, when we built that theatre in my land, some manner of spectre was disturbed, and it's made me a target. What's it doing exactly? Ugh, are we really entertaining this nonsense? I hear voices, Your August Majesty, little pinpricks at the back of my mind. Just now I saw a horrid grey shape hanging over me, its face a rotting mask. definitely drinking. I beg your August Majesty and gathered nobles, come to my aid. We must banish this wraith. Hmm. No. I'll go for a 40% rather than a increase in defiance. 40% happens 40% of the time. Remember, there are people who don't want bad things to the things to happen. And just remember, next time, you'll all just have to go against that faction anyway. So it's all interesting. It's all an interesting fact. It's all a story. That's what we're all doing. We're telling a story together. The High Inquisitor sent a team of her most pious agents to investigate. They report back swiftly. There was a spirit hanging around the theatre, Your Majesty. A powerful one, and with a strong connection to Old Dragon. But my Inquisitors can handle anything. They stayed awake for 3 days, performing a ritual with holy water and candles. The whole area is cleansed. An Old Dragon sent you a nice gift as thanks. He's sleeping much better these days. Marvelous! Your Majesty, dreadful tidings. Summer has been exceedingly hot this year, and citizens have been dying from the heat. The harvest will be poor, as you can imagine. Is there something I can do? Perhaps, if your Highness and the Council are willing. Remember, you may not necessarily want to help the rebellion because that only aids one faction, which is their faction. Why would you help them? They just want power for themselves. Giga will win next season without us. No, I won't. I have to go through 2 seasons. 2 seasons I have to go through, not 1. Like, there's a whole other season to go through. You don't necessarily want the grandees to do stuff. By the way, they're... So everyone else should be voting for C. But, I mean, you could try and rebel. It might work. There's 4 teams here, not 2. There is no we, indeed. You prevent the worst of the heatwave's effects by forcing peasants to work just as hard as usual. Many die in the scorching sun. People start comparing you to King Archibald Goldfinger, an insatiably greedy tyrant of centuries past. Meanwhile, the Conti rides in a remote, unremarkable spot of moorland. Soon another joins them. Blood and stars, it's too dangerous to make a move against the monarch with the church so influential. The counts aim to lower their faith to 4 or less. Well, there's various things that can be done here. Remember, if you're not the grandees, I don't know, do what you want. Do what you want. It's okay. It's all a story in the end. Calm down, everyone in the chat, okay? It is only a game in the end. It's only a game. Seriously. No need to take it super seriously. I'm not taking it seriously. It's only a game. Even if I lose, the game goes on. Your Highness, I've come up with an excellent money-making scheme. I'm listening. Have you heard of a thing called simony? It means selling off priesthoods to anyone who wants them. I've already spoken to the Archbishop and convinced him it's a good idea. Of course, he'll get a healthy cut of the profits. And so will you. The High Inquisitor won't be happy. She's never happy. We have the Archbishop's approval, so she can't touch us. I was skeptical at first, but Count Zero's race was really sold me on the idea. Let's put it to a vote, shall we? Oh, this is an interesting one. Yes, I absolutely could. I absolutely could veto a choice and have it only be one choice. Yes, I could. You still need to vote. How exquisite! You've done the right thing, Your Grace. Soon you and the Archbishop will both be swimming in gold. Count Zero's prediction comes true. Everyone wants to be a priest, and the church can now afford shiny new altars and even bigger hats. You get kickbacks too, of course. But over the next few months it becomes apparent that the new priests are sloppy, corrupt, and badly behaved. The common folk lose all faith in the church. It's fine. What do we have? Ooh, jailbreak. Oh no! Your August Majesty, do you remember Lady Patrician Fledgling Phoenix? Oh, the lady I threw in my dungeon. That's right, my aunt. You threw her in prison for crab-based crimes. Well, she escaped. She cunningly concealed her escape tunnel beneath a 6-foot-wide oil painting of cavorting nymphs. I get the reference. Blood and stars. Why was this villain allowed such a painting in her cell at all? Villain or not, Fledgling Phoenix was a Lady Patrician and was accommodated accordingly at the Patrician's request. Let me hunt down this outlaw, Your Grace. I'll show these soft-hearted patricians how a count keeps his prisoners. Ooh. 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 That's interesting. Huh. I want to see what happens. Let's go. 30% chances happen 30% of the time. You can put a bounty on their head too. That'd do it. I don't know. Might be fun. I just want to see what interesting dialogues happen. Put a bounty on their head. How much of a bounty will you put on their head? 1,000 gold. A generous offer. Half the bounty hunters in the kingdom will be after Lady Patricia Fledgling the Phoenix's head. A week later, Count Cyrus the Mad DJ arrives, holding a bloody sack. Lady Patrician Fledgling Phoenix's severed head rolls out across your nice, clean floor. What? The council wouldn't let me hunt them down, but you didn't forbid me from a little extracurricular sport. Pay him the agreed amount. Most pleasing! I'm going to buy a tavern and drink everything in the cellar. With Lady Patricians pledging the Phoenix's escape cut short, the message is clear. No one escapes the monarch's justice for long. Dark words, Your Grace. We have suffered an extremely poor harvest in the east. Unseasonably bad weather is to blame. Darn it. What can we do about it? Not much, Your Grace. Even a monarch can't control the weather. Unfortunately, it'll be a tough winter. A count rides into a remote, unremarkable spot. Another joins them. Now you see, the counts want to do a different thing. The church is scrambling for power. The High Inquisitor is losing her grip on the populace. How exquisite, when we can make our move unseen. We must invite a demon to possess the monarch. The ancient books describe two demons, each attracted to different aspects of a human mind. You don't benefit from joining the rebellion. You don't win anything by doing it. Which is the amusing thing. You gain nothing. Because I want to guarantee to you, the grandees are not going to remember. I know, but they won't remember next time. They don't gain any chance. Don't lie to yourself. The Mad Tyrant. The Cockroach Queen was once a favoured servant of the Ninth God, but when she betrayed him, he banished her to the deepest caves where she became a twisted agent of the Seventh. She desires to rise to power once more. She will be attracted to a powerful monarch whose authority is unquestioned. Authority to 7 is not unachievable. It's not unachievable. I might need that money. You get a tax break, though. That's fine. Yeah. Peasants on side. Let's have a look at this. Deep in the desert, a group of rebel grandees have discussed the plans of the civil war. With them are their spies, a cluster of nondescript southern citizens in ordinary clothes. Greetings, righteous friends. I trust the Ninth guides your path. The Ninth no doubt wishes Monarch Veronica IV's reign of tyranny over. That's precisely why I invited you here. We know the patricians are on the Monarch's pocket, but are there peasants? Lord Patrician Darkover has amassed vast wealth even in this time of conflict. I doubt it's shared with the ordinary people of the coast. Our spies should spread the word. We'll be kinder to the peasants than Lord Patrician Darkover 81 and his corrupt compatriots. Praise be. Let us decide how to proceed. Huge amounts of actual money! I don't get to vote, so the only people who get to vote are the grandees. Free actual money! Exactly! That was pretty universal. Trusted spies pour into the coast, spreading word about the generosity of the grandees. It's long before the plan bears fruit. Droves of peasants make a dangerous trek to the south, the golden glint in their eyes. As the troops clean their weapons, make repairs and heal their wounds, one thing's for sure, they'll soon have a chance for some action. I must note something, by the way. By the grandees rebelling, this will lower stability, which means the patricians will get to the third stage of their objective. So the patricians can then sneak in a victory. Hopefully, there will soon be enough of a kingdom left for them to enjoy once this is over. It's not even a mind game. This is literally going to happen. At long last, the grandees have reached their boiling point. You are confronted in your throne by Grandee Ogashut, his eyes alight with righteous fury. The ninth god has judged you unworthy, pretenders of a throne, and the grandee of the south have listened. We will rise up to fight for Fabia, the true queen. This is a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other will be on the battlefield. One day I will see your head on a spike. There will be many heads on spikes before this war is over. Mine will not be among them. Grandee Ogishad strides from your throne room without looking back. I didn't expect them to move so boldly, Your Majesty. What are our chances against the rebels? Grandees are formidable but not undefeatable. I hope they don't persuade any other regions to join. That'd be disastrous. How do things get this bad? The leader of the rebellion is Grandee Scarlet Lunaire. As a reason for the uprising, she's citing your history of petty transgressions. Is it too late to apologize? It is. Now's the time for swords, not words. Let's go! I can't wait! I'll go dig out the trebuchets. Beautiful. Right. Let's go. Yeah. Opening strike. There we go. But you know what happens if a rebellion fails. The kingdom is blackened by faithlessness and dishonor. The ninth god is weeping for what we have become. And whose fault is that? Monarch Veronica IV, the mad tyrant. Alas, you're right. We have no choice but to raise our banner, march on the capital, and install a better ruler. Someone like the noble Fabia. But first, we must work on our opening move. Pray to the ninth. Let him help us decide. We can launch a preemptive strike against the patricians to cripple their military capabilities. If we suspect the patricians may join our cause, we can call them to war. They'll be more likely to join us if the monarch's authority is low. I will remind you, patricians, that next season you get to your third stage of your ambition, and you could just win next season. We could also call upon the church to condemn the monarch. Or finally, we could send off an assassin to nip it in the bud. There you go. There's each of your options. Of course we can, and we will, exactly. Of course you'll rebel, you'll just win. No, the king seeks to give everyone their chance. Everyone will be on their third scheme. It'll be fantastic. You can't change factions. That's not how it works. Thank you for meeting with me, Your Holiness. Your message was most heartfelt. How could I turn down those in need? We are all the Ninth God's children, after all. Oh, I couldn't agree more, and on the subject. The Church has been suffering greatly, hasn't it? The monarch hasn't been giving you the support you deserve. Alas, it is true. The monarch has strayed far from the light of the Ninth. It breaks my heart, but a monarch with so little concern for the kingdom's spiritual health can scarcely be considered a monarch at all. Now, Fabia, on the other hand, if she ever finds herself on the throne, she'll be sure to make a substantial contribution to the Church's coffers. Now, you know I can offer money. I only care about what's best for the kingdom. And what's best for the kingdom is a monarch who cares about the Church. I'll lend you my full support gladly. Thank you, Your Holiness. Go with God. Fortunately for the monarch, the power of the Church has waned so much that the news of the Archbishop's stance is met with a collective shrug. Meanwhile, sitting on a bench outside of some beach villa, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme, along with some other faces that the monarch might recognize. Greetings, Lord Patrician. I'd like to introduce to you some friends of mine. Good afternoon, noble patricians. A pleasure, as always. Hello? Is this the place? Ugh, smells like fish. Wow, I take it you found my colleague's arguments most persuasive, then. Indeed, Lord Patrician Linguistic Dragon made some excellent points about the monarch's incompetence. The most persuasive part was the giant bag of gold. Unfortunately, the Spymaster and the Chancellor still remain beyond our grasp. With these two in our pocket, we can do great things. We just need to decide on our approach. Lower Treasury. Ooh, that one might be a good choice. Or raise others' defiance. I don't know. I might be spending money in the near future. War will absolutely cost me. The patricians might sneak in. But by the throne? Like it's a lump of cheese at the market? Are you mad? Quite sane. If the monarch takes a large enough financial hit, they'll be forced to look to their trusted treasurer for guidance. Don't you worry, I'll take it from there. 1,063. I just need to lose £1,000. That's all I need to do. Lose £1,000. That's it. Ah, but it only needs to lower to 1,000. Your Majesty, as the Grandees were marching through the east, they were hit by a fierce rainstorm. Unable to progress through the mud, they've set up camp beside the Voltine River. What relevance does this have to us? They're vulnerable, Your Majesty. We must strike. Don't be foolish, Marshal. Do you think our own troops are immune to the weather? We'll have the same problems. If I may suggest another option, Your Majesty. The Grandees are drawing all their water from the Voltane River. If we were to poison it upstream, their troops would suffer greatly. Fighting a war with poison leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but not as bad as the taste I'll leave in the mouths of the Grandees. Ha! Let's do it! Where do we get all this poison? If we herd all the cattle in the east into the riverbanks upstream and allow all their effluents to flow freely into the river, the water will be contaminated. It's hard to fight on an upset stomach. Knights above, you are devious. I don't feel comfortable with this, Your Majesty. You only council approval before I concede. Proceed. Ooh! Note! The Grandees can't vote. And that is Obtusos there with Prime Gaming. Thank you ever so much. That is so kind of you. Thank you. That's 43 months. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, stream chat or Prime sub, you can spend anyone like. You didn't spend it on me! I mean, I won't say no. Also, do have a throne wish list as well. I prefer B, but A is more likely to work. Hey! Do you want money? I want to try the ambush. We might as well give it a go. Trust in the coin toss. It might work. Maybe? Possibly? Not enough cows. Yeah, we don't have a lot of cows. We do have military, though. Pay coin for a coin toss. How ironic. What about bees? Oh, the bees won't help us. Let's give it a go. It's worth a try. Ah, that's more like it. A good old-fashioned battle as the Knights intended. Your eastern soldiers proved more resilient to rain than the Grandees. They charge into the battle, taking the rebels by surprise and wreak havoc. By the time the Grandees have rallied their troops, your soldiers are already melted back among the trees, leaving chaos in their wake. Ha! That'll show them! We didn't even need to dishonor ourselves in the process. I maintain it was a perfectly viable strategy. Yeah, we're not rebelling. You're on my side. Along the southern border, countless swords flash in the blazing sun. Prayers fill the air. The Grandees' troops are gathering in vast numbers. By the grace of the Ninth, we have assembled an army to strike fear into the heart of the false monarch. What next? Next we march, but not yet. First, you must ensure we call upon every resource at our disposal. And on that subject, I've considered several proposals to further bolster our army for the trials ahead. Add your choices! I'd go for C. C is literally the most reasonable option. I mean, hey, this is amusing and whatever's happening. praise the ninth. The Holy Order of the Sunken Star has recognized the righteousness of our cause and will fight alongside us. We are blessed. We are blessed. Since the Church officially supports us in this conflict, we persuaded them to join us with very little effort. The Holy Knights soon arrive in the southern camp, riding in gleaming armor atop towering steeds. They are few, but each is worth 20 soldiers on the field of battle. I must say, it feels good to have the strength of a ninth on our side. Vast armies darken the landscape like the shadows of clouds. Flags are waging, drums are pounding in the rhythm of the marching of boots. The kingdom is gripped in civil war. At least that's what you imagine. Most of your time is spent in the safety of a palace, poring over a giant map. Your Majesty, the army of the south is advancing on the capital, led by that traitorous cur, Grandee Scarlet Lunaire. I've received word from the commander of our loyalist forces in the coast. If they march now, they'll intercept the Grandees in a matter of days. Alternatively, they could join forces with the armies of the east. It's risky, but together they'll have a higher chance of defeating the accursed Grandees. What are your orders, Your Majesty? Yeah, we need to join up. The patricians and the counts should join forces. Very well, Your Majesty. I'll relay your orders to Lord Patrician Mad Steve 79, commander in the field. Hopefully they'll do as you're told. God knows treachery can thrive. We have our orders, but should we follow them? I can't make you do what you want. You follow orders, I mean... Your call. Hey! Hey! Oh! Oh, thank you! Oh, this is wonderful! You follow orders! The whole city holds its breath. You stew in your palace, waiting for the marshal's return. Finally, she arrives at your throne room, looking perfectly composed. Your Majesty, as you ordered, the patricians have turned their army around to link up with the counts. We can only hope this was the right decision. Have some confidence, Your Majesty. Too late for doubts now. It all comes down to the next battle, Your Majesty. The fate of the kingdom hangs in the balance. We will prevail. That's the spirit. Now I really must be going. I have a lot to take care of. Over the next few weeks, it becomes clear that the coastal army's retreat has given the Grandees free rein to pillage and plunder the coast. The rampaging southern troops descend on farms like locusts, taking everything to feed thousands of hungry soldiers. Meanwhile, shops, churches, and manors are plundered and the stolen loot shipped back to the south. But while the coast suffers, the coastal forces successfully link up with the counts. Now the joint army of the patricians and the counts rush to beat the Grandees in open warfare, and the winner will either end your reign or preserve it. I mean, this is a good story. This is a good story. It's interesting. Shall we go to the final battle? Shall we do it? Shall we just get to the end? I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. Let's go. We got captain's time? No, it's fine. You can't. I can. Because time as well. Time's running a bit low. A month ago, battle was averted, but that battle cannot be postponed forever. The patricians and counts are all that stand between the Grandees and the capital. A final battle deciding the fate of the kingdom. I'll send word to the counts that it's time to strike. Can only hope they listen to our orders, Your Majesty. I want to see a grand battle. I want to see a grand battle here. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. It'll be glorious. Ah! Also, the counts don't want this. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I love it. When she finally returns, it's not a manner you'd hoped. She carries onto the throne room a stretcher, coughing weakly. Her torso is covered in blood-soaked bandages. What happened? We caught the grandees in the classic pincer movement. The countess attacked from one side, the patricians charged in from the other. The grandees had occupied a highly defensible hilltop. In my arrogance, I thought our combined forces were enough. But they prepared a few surprises of their own. Hidden archers, burning oil, a feigned retreat that suddenly turned around and hit us where it hurts. We pulled out all the stops. It was a slaughter. All I remember is blood and screams. So much death. When they found me, I was under a pile of corpses with 6 arrows in me. They say it's a miracle I survived it all. How could this happen? I'm truly sorry that I failed you. If we want to see the end, we must build up fortifications, stockpile food, train up a citizens' militia. The grandees will be camped outside the walls in a matter of weeks. It's time to pray for the knights, your majesty, because apart from him, you're on your own. Good news, Rangnick. In your latest sortie, I captured a key leader of the loyalist forces. A scourge on you, Rackenshin, you poxy snollygoster. Release me at once. Someone gag our guest. I'm tired of listening to his wildering. No, it's fine. That's better. Now we can hear ourselves think. So, Rangnick, what shall we do with our prize? It's your decision. No, please, have mercy, won't you? The blubbering count has led to a platform where the executioner awaits. His head is forced into the waiting Urbis 83. Remember, they're called Urbis 83s? The axe falls with a very final thump. Ah, the Urbis 83 got you. Count Alias's head is delivered to the palace in a neatly wrapped gift box. The outrage only serves to draw the count closer to the monarch. But it also causes panic in the capital and saps morale throughout the east. Glory awaits, DLG Dragon. Our forces will soon march across the river Goldspool in the coast, and after that it's a clear road to the capital. River crossing is a dangerous time for any army. We should do something unexpected. Build rafts downstream and float our troops across. By the 9th, what cowardice is this? If we take the main bridge and fortify it, we'll control half the coast. Yes. If. I urge caution. Maybe. And if they do, they win. And that's fine. Because then next time, we have them maybe wanting to support the monarch. The Grandees battle their way across the bridge, then knock out its support and send it crashing into the river. Half the coastal troops are now stranded on the other side, but for how long? Patricians rally their best engineers to rebuild. But alas, the best engineers on the coast aren't up to the challenge. The coastal troops, led by the Lord Patrician Linguistic, are only halfway across the rickety replacement when it collapses. Their bodies will be dredged up in fishermen nets for months later. Needless to say, it's a disaster. Hey, we have an ending. Oh look, we get an auction. We get an auction. I mean, it's completely pointless, but okay. Well done, Grandees. Well done. Okay, we go away. I mean, you might as well, but they got 5 victory points. I don't think there's much that can be done. I shall spin a coin and say memes. Hey, it's a good story. It got close at points. And as you could plainly see, I did the final battle first because if I hadn't, our military would have been lower doing the final battle. So doing it first was actually quite sensible. Hey Cav, you've arrived just in time for a rebellion to win. See, it was a fun story. It's a fun story. I got unlucky with a 10% roll, Cav. I could have won, but 90% roll, it ended up going bad, and then we got this lovely story. End the season. A triumph of the rebellion. The sun rises on the city in turmoil. The grandees began their assault last night, and since then you've heard nothing outside but screams and howls and clashes with blades. Half the capital's in flames. The soldiers rush back and forth, shouting panicked orders. You haven't seen your marshal since the night before. Perhaps she's already dead. Your honor guard are in the streets outside the palace, building a barricade in order to last-ditch defences. Vital work, but you're vulnerable without them by your side. The royal court is empty except for you, your wife and your daughter, cradled in the arms of her nanny. Her crying is giving you a headache. There must be a way out of here, right? Some secret passage you've saved for a rainy day? Tell me this isn't the end. Let's ask the spymaster. You wait and stew. The screams and clashes get louder. Finally your spymaster arrives, out of breath, her face stained by smoke and blood. They'll be here any moment, Her Majesty. You must saddle your horse and escape the city. I know of a secret passage. Praise the Ninth. We're saved. Show me where to go. You follow your spymaster down through a hidden trapdoor behind your throne. A donor accompanies you, as does the nanny, still holding your daughter in her arms. The capital is lost, but you can get it back. The counts have agreed to shelter you while you plot your revenge. At least some people are loyal. After crawling down a secret tunnel for what feels like hours, you spill out into a leafy courtyard. 4 horses are waiting. As you saddle them up, you hear a wet thud behind you, followed by the sound of something rolling across the floor. Your spymaster is lying dead on the ground. Her head is missing. Grandee Scarlet Lunaire stands over the body, flanked by a dozen soldiers, her scimitar stained red. Never liked her. Ideas above her station. Your nanny runs off, still clutching your daughter in your arms. At least there's a ray of hope. Even if you die now, your heir still lives. Grandee Scarlet Lunaire, I wondered when you'd show up your miserable face. Quiet. You have nothing to fear. I'm not here for you. So, you knew about the escape route. You're not the only one with spies. The Triumphant smirk, she makes a sharp gesture. The southern soldiers step forward, swords at the ready. May the Ninth God have mercy on your soul, sinner. What a fight. Empty hands can do little against armor and swords. You're given a vicious beating, and the fight drains out of you. Instead of killing you, the soldiers seize you and drag you back towards the palace. Your deal isn't over. Your wife is dragged off too, kicking and screaming. You never see her again. You can only cope Grandee Scarlet Lunaire kept her promise, and no harm came to her. After a week rotting your own dungeon, you're marched out into a public platform, jeered at by thousands of peasants. You cringe under a barrage of rotten fruit and fresh dung. Cart's Grandee sits in the front row, grinning. The rebels have won. The capital has been taken over. You are a former monarch. The Urbis 83 awaits you. Its blade gleaming in the red blood light of dawn. It feels so impersonal. Whatever happened to the big bloke with an axe? The crowd stares up, eager to hear your last words. At least I'll save money on hats. You place your head in the hole. The blade falls so quickly you scarcely have time to wonder if... Swing! Thunk! Your head bounces onto Grandee Scarlet Lunaire's lap, and your reign comes to a gruesome end. Having lost to the rebellious Grandees, Monarch Veronica IV was dragged out of the palace and decapitated in the city square. After losing the civil war, the patricians retreated to within their borders and immediately began plotting against the usurper. As a reward for staying loyal to the monarch, the top counts were beheaded. In public, the survivors swore loyalty to the new regime. In private, they swore vengeance. The Grandees launched a rebellion that toppled the monarch and devastated the kingdom. In the aftermath, nobody could stop them from taking the throne, and Fabia was crowned to half-hearted cheers for the traumatized common folk. Monarch Veronica IV, the Firestarter. What a name. The kingdom, however, not looking too hot. I made a thing for the thing you suggested before. Ooh, interesting. And tune in next time for the Grandee Queen. Grandee stats are looking pretty good though, yeah, but it can all change. 5-star was the entire nation. Yep, you just couldn't keep your head with the straight. No. But everything else is ravaged, yeah. Except Count Trade. Yeah, Count Trade is great. Yeah, Counts would have won if the loyalty had beaten the Grandees. Yeah. It's all a matter of who wins. Losing at 90% dice roll changed the run. Exactly. It's all random chance. And ultimately, it's all a bit of fun. That's the thing. Like, it's all a bit of fun. No problem, Arcane Rogue. No, it was a 90% roll for the second one. It was a 90% roll for the Faith. I had a 90% chance to win and 10% went... Nope. You had so much fun that you lost your head. Indeed. I'm glad it was enjoyable. That's the ultimate thing. It's for it to be enjoyable. That's what I hope for. And that's ultimately, you know, what the content's all about. You can't always win. Like, you can't always win. I can't always win. But you know what? It's a story, and next time it'll be the Grandees. Next time the Grandees will be on the throne. And we'll see what happens. And so... If nobody rebelled, then the Monarch would have won. Yeah. It's a storytelling game. It's a game about telling a story. And sometimes the story is the Monarch wins, sometimes the story is the Monarch loses, you know? It's... Veronica I came to power via a rebellion, true. And note as well that Veronica V still lives. Keep that in mind for next time. Veronica V still lives. And I'll thank you all ever so much for being here, because you're all absolutely fantastic and amazing and awesome. And I couldn't do what I do without you, and I wouldn't want to do what I do without you. You're all absolutely fantastic and awesome, and there are a couple of things I need to quickly talk about before we conclude. Starting off with my website, kikosuke.com. You can check out all kinds of things there, including my schedule. You can be with any of Delstom. You can also find links away and my own hope. There's also my Discord, where you can join a large and thriving community, which I'm often a part of. There's loads of places to talk about stuff. Thank you, the guestie. There's loads of emotes based on Let's Plays and streams past and present, and if you link your Twitch and Discord together and you are sub to me on Twitch, you can use the Twitch emotes on Discord, which is fantastic. You know what else is fantastic? No problem, Deus. My Patreon! You can pledge to support me in doing what I do. As I mean, Let's Play or stream-wise hidden behind paywalls, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you typically do not see, including but not limited to all the editing, compression, and test streams and test recordings and everything that makes all what I do a reality. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Rebels can even win by assassin when they... Yeah! An assassin nearly succeeded once in a rebellion, interestingly. But ultimately, as I say, the game's just a bit of fun. It's all fun. It's all just harmless fun. But there's loads of stuff that goes on, as I say, and in these times I do rely on the people that pledge to me to make all what I do possible, and those that do pledge to me not only get a different coloured name on Discord, and my deep and sincere thanks, you also get the ability to vote on the, or rather come up with the shortlist for the Patreon shortlisted vote for one of the Let's Play slots. There's one made by the community, and there's one made by Patreon pledgers, but all of them are voted on by the wider community. There's also my YouTube channels. First, there is Kikoskia, the nearly 16-year-old channel. Yeah, that was the plan, Rakichem. It'll be 16 years, on the 30th of this month, it'll be 16 years. And over 10,000 videos. I'm so old. And then there's Kikvodskia, my more recent VOD-only channel. My goal is to get Kikoskia up to 100,000 YouTube subscribers and Kikvodskia up to 1,000. And remember, both channels like engagement. It pleases the algorithm, enigmatic that it is. So, liking, commenting on videos helps out, and subscribing if you're not is always appreciated. And if you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications. Then there is my Twitter, and my Mastodon, Instagram, Blue Sky, Discord, what I previously mentioned, and the community tab on YouTube. There you can follow me to get notifications about when I start streaming, when Let's Play videos go live, and all kinds of random silly. Then there is my Throne wishlist, where you can put money towards getting me things that bring me joy. Like little tiny things that are... At the moment there's 40k models, and there is a Gunpla there as well. And if you have ideas for things to put on there that are not on my list, you can use the suggestions section to put them there. Finally, there is me thanking all of you, because seriously, you are all absolutely fantastic and amazing and brilliant and wonderful, and I could not do what I do without you, and I wouldn't want to. You are the reason this content is all possible. I make the content for you, and even though I make it, you're the ones that make it happen. You are the community that is built up around it, and I'm just so happy to have such a wonderful and supportive and kind and wholesome community of awesome people. Thank you ever so much. I could never have imagined back in 2008 when I started doing this that I'd have this community. You're all just wonderful. And with your continued support, I'll be able to keep doing this as my full-time job, content creation, writing everything, for as long as I can, for as many years as is possible. And I will keep doing that. Hopefully entertaining all of you, even if it means that the Monarch ends up getting absolutely destroyed, like we did now. But we got 3 Monarchs in a row. It was bound to end at some point. So thank you all ever so much, folks. Seriously, thank you. Thank you so much. And whether it be morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope you achieve everything that you set out to do. Well, 4 Monarchs, but 3 successful ones. The next stream is tomorrow, 2 PM GMT, Animal Crossing New Horizons, where we will be welcoming Olivia properly to Hillsfar, sorting out her garden and the interior of her home, because she's fully moved in now. And I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. That is not how you spell Halloween's name. Later. And remember, be nice to each other, everyone, for if everyone is nice to each other, the world would be that much better a place. And we all want that, don't we? Well, I certainly do. And I hope you do too. Later. The reign of the Verenicas is over. Now it is Fabia. Will she fare better? I don't think it will go so well next time. I put a W instead of an E. QWERTY, you know, W next to E. It happens. Later.